Hey guys, BusyMami here, and today I have another guest with me. I have Zach from work.
Hello.
So he is the nicest, next to Nicole, probably the second nicest person I know. Because you and Nicole are both like the nicest people ever.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, see? Totally.
Nicole edges me out for sure.
just by like the tiniest hair. Just by the tiniest hair. So Zach had been telling me about, well, a few things. Zach for a while has been talking to me about a lot of different things about cooking, how I should be on a show, which now I have a show, so yay!
Woo!
Woohoo! But how he wants to make this dip for me to try, and it sounded amazing. So like, where did this dip like kind of originate with you guys?
So my aunt actually was the one who kind of put the recipe together. She actually published it in our church's cookbook, and from there it's just become like a family staple. We have it at a lot of our gatherings, Super Bowl parties, Easter parties, kind of any family party that we have. It just kind of is what is brought either by my aunt or my mom makes it, and then I'm starting to make it now too, because I'm not the greatest chef, even though I enjoy food, and it's very simple to make. It's great for anyone looking for an easy dish to make feel homemade, because it pretty much is, you know what I mean? And bring it, and it's easy to assemble and bring, and kind of gets all the wows. So. Yeah.
Well, I like it. So anything that you can add like cheese and cream cheese into bread, that sounds like really delicious to me. And it's so funny because when I was looking at this recipe, I was like, this reminds me a lot of a jalapeno popper, like the inside of a jalapeno popper.
100%.
Except it's not breaded, it's in bread. So that's even better.
Yes.
It's even better. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do two different types of recipes. So we have Zach's recipe, and like as I was getting all the ingredients, I got like inspired to maybe like do a different version, just because this recipe is so simple to make, but I feel like can have a lot of really great flavors. And so you can do really whatever you want. I mean, the peppers that we add, you can change them up. We talked about a few other things you could do. You can add like harder veggies like carrots if you want. You're gonna have to cut them real thin though, so that you don't get like thick chunks of carrot. And then you can add like spinach if you don't want peppers, but I suggest you try it this way first and then experiment with your own ways if you would like after. So first, you need to go to your local grocery store, or you can make bread from scratch if you want to. So you have to buy the bigger bread loaf. So here we have Jewel Osco, and Jewel happens to have all these French breads, and they have this kind of football-shaped loaf.
Yeah, this one's the Vienna loaf, but any like kind of wider Italian bread would work for this as well. So
just anything that's got the space, right, to be able to cut out. So Zach is gonna do the cutting because he's a professional. He's a professional at this, so we're gonna just make sure.
The nice thing about this recipe too is after you cut out the center, you get bread to snack on while you're kind of finishing up the rest of it, waiting for it to bake. You want to make sure you give a nice edge so that the dip doesn't spill out. So leaving about a ½ inch, maybe a 3/4 of an inch on all sides when you're cutting it, so that you can make sure that, so once you kind of cut out the nice like oval in the middle, you can just go ahead and tear it out with your hands, and that leaves a nice room for the dip to sit in as you bake, and serve it kind of warm. So a lot of times what I'll do too is like cut out some of the sides, gives a little bit more room for the bread to kind of, or the dip to expand into.
That's my favorite part, is the inside of the bread.
Well, yeah.
So I would eat all that by itself.
Part of it too is like, you're gonna feel the dip kind of mix with the bread, and it's going to get a little bit of a thicker consistency just by adding the bread to it. One thing about this dip too is it's also an edible kind of serving tray. So
whoever gets the last thing gets the bread.
Yeah, so it helps with cleanup and stuff like that too. So
yeah.
Now we got the dish hollowed out here with the bread.
Just put this over here. I wonder, do you guys ever like cut this into like strips and put it in the oven with the bread to give like little toasted crisps?
It usually doesn't make it that far. I usually eat it by then. So
I was gonna say, I'm gonna try that with this one and see what happens. Like you could cut it into like strips like this probably, and bake it, and then you can use that to dip in there too.
Yeah, 100%.
At this stage, we put the oven is preheating at 350. 350, right? 350.
Well, let's confirm
said family recipe. Got it. I find that most recipes are 350 or 425. It's like either 350 or for everything that I've seen.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, we've done it at our house where like my mom will have made a pie or something beforehand and it's at a different temperature and you just kind of adjust the timings. Really, everything in here doesn't need to be cooked. It's all edible on its own. Yeah. So you're just heating it through and getting the mix going. Yeah. So you can adjust it and do at 400 at an hour or 300 at an hour and a half, 2 hours. You can adjust those as you go.
Stuff out of the
just
way.
be cognizant if you do a higher temperature, you're probably going to have crisper bread when you're finished.
Yeah. So the point is really just to get everything to like kind of melt together and like get gooey.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So ingredients are as follows. Zach, here's your bowl.
Oh, thank you.
Of 16 ounces of sour cream, your favorite sour cream. Go ahead and put that in your bowl, and then we're gonna add 8 ounces, which is 1 block of cream cheese. If you can leave it to be room temperature, probably better, makes it a little easier.
Softer
if not, you can actually put it in the microwave on defrost for like maybe 2 minutes, and it actually does get melted down. Try not to put it in like to microwave, because then you start cooking like the edges of the cheese, and that's weird. So we're gonna add that to, so I'll add mine first here, to my sour cream. And I'm gonna mix it up. So Zach said sometimes you gotta get your hands dirty and sometimes you gotta get in there, but I think we might be okay because I microwaved it a little bit. We'll see. Which, to be fair, this whole recipe is keto friendly.
Except for the bread.
Except for the bread. So if you make keto almond bread, then you can use that to dip. And you can bake this dip by itself. It doesn't have to be in bread.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, so you can bake it by itself. You can make jalapeno poppers out of it if you want to, or you can stuff peppers with it. Instead of putting the pepper in the recipe, you could take a pepper and put it on top. I mean, there's like a lot of different cool things you could do with this. So Zach and I are making the same base. The only thing that's gonna change, Zach is gonna do the traditional recipe, is that I'm gonna be fancy and add different peppers to mine. After you mix all that up, you're going to add a bag of cheese. So this is 8 ounces of cheese. We talked about the recipe really calls for less, but Zach's like how I feel, where it's like just put the whole bag in there.
Yeah. One thing you can do is save about a quarter of the cheese and sprinkle it over the top. If you're gonna sprinkle the cheese over the top of the dip, it's gonna form a harder crust. So make sure your kind of scoops, whatever you have in there, are strong enough to withstand that cheese if you put it over the top.
I have too small of a bowl. Look what I did. I have made a mess. Okay, if it's not a mess, it's not good. I'm just saying.
With this recipe, there's no way around the mess.
Zach and I are both huge Food Network fans. And so we were talking about our favorite chefs that we have. And Rachel Ray is one of my favorites for all the cool stuff she has. So I have Rachel Ray pans, I have a Rachel Ray oil thing, I have Rachel Ray measuring cups. I just like the color that she puts in stuff. All right, so the same base. So if you look at it, the mix that we have looks, you know, it's all the same. We're gonna throw in now ham. So you can put in whatever you want, ham, turkey, chicken, sliced chicken, but try it. It needs to be like sliced, right? Like thin.
Yep.
You don't want big chunks.
Yep, and I would suggest deli meats as opposed to like a sausage or something like that. The consistency is going to be it, and the grease is going to run more, and those types of things. So deli meats kind of remove a lot of the grease and isn't going to mix the texture of the dip itself. So
I wonder if you could do like chicken, like shredded chicken.
You probably could.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just making things up. You probably could. Do what you want. Let us know if you did.
Post in the comments.
Yep. I'm gonna do 1 cup, I think. That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Of cut up. Oh man, I'm like thinking about all the things I could do. I'm like, ooh, at this point I can add sriracha and shredded chicken and have a buffalo dip.
Probably.
Oh my gosh. So this is where we're at right now. Looks really good. Now we're gonna add the peppers to it. Zach is passing me my jalapenos because I'm gonna put jalapenos in mine. Interesting note about peppers. So did you know, the more you know, green peppers are actually like the base of the peppers. So bell peppers, you can't like plant a seed for yellow peppers or green peppers or whatever. You just plant a seed for bell peppers, and then as they mature on the vine, they change color. So what are those colors, Zach?
Yeah, so they start in green, and then as they kind of ripen and go through the vine process, it's green, yellow, orange, and red.
Boom. Isn't that cool? Like, I always thought.
So red would be your final product, kind of like an apple.
Yeah, and that's why they're more expensive, I feel like. too. Like that's why when you're getting a red pepper, green pepper is like 87 cents. Red pepper is like $1.79 per pepper.
There you go.
That's why. Also, it's really difficult to wait because when you're growing them yourself, you're like, ooh, this one's like almost yellow. I think I'm just gonna go with that one.
Yeah.
And the higher they go, the sweeter they go, which is why I thought about adding a little bit more. So, Zach, you're gonna add your half a cup to yours. So half a cup of green peppers, and he's gonna mix that in. So for mine, same base as his, except I'm gonna add that is 1.5 large jalapenos that I just put in here. I de-seeded them.
Just added a little bit more green pepper to mine. We like peppers for this recipe because they kind of keep their texture and their consistency and that pop of freshness as it kind of goes through the dip. So if you're looking to substitute peppers for something else, look for a heartier vegetable that's going to maintain its texture as you kind of go through the cooking process.
Yeah, for sure. So I added green peppers, I added yellow or orange peppers, and I added jalapenos to this. I like lots of veggies, and this is what ours looks like. This is mine, my weird concoction, and Zach's. They look very similar.
Yeah.
So they're pretty good. Now, could you use like other cheese besides cheddar, I wonder?
Yeah, I mean, any kind of cheese that's gonna melt well.
Yeah.
So I would avoid like blue, Fontega or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
So I usually stick to a mild or a sharp cheddar, but maybe like Monterey Jack or something along those lines.
For the buffalo dip?
Pepper Jack. Those would be add a little bit more spice kind of from the cheese itself.
Yum. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna add the one ingredient that I add to literally everything, including eggs. When I make eggs, I add this. This is the one time that I actually do mention product because I love Tony Chachere's so much. This is a Creole seasoning. I don't know, have you ever had it?
I don't think I have.
If you smell it, you're gonna
your dishes to work with it. So.
I know. I make a lot of food for work and I bring it in. So I'm gonna add a little Tony's to this, but first I want to try to see like where we're at salt wise, because this has salt. So I'm just gonna add like a little, and it's gonna add color. So we got our mixes. We're gonna go get our bread bowls and we're gonna fill. Be right
Absolutely.
back. So we are ready with our bread. So one thing that we did is we put a little olive oil on the bread pieces and laid it next to the bread so that we can get little crispy pieces to dip. This is actually only one. We still have a whole nother half top that you can eat by itself if you want. Make a sandwich while you wait, because this bakes in the oven for about an hour, right?
Yep.
Okay, so it's gonna bake for about an hour. Should be good to go. So we're gonna throw this in here and see what happens. Zach's gonna go first because he has the nice spatula. I gotta watch his technique, guys.
One thing you want to do is make sure you're pushing the dip out into the edges of the bread, especially if you hollowed it out a little bit, so that it kind of fills that whole space.
This dip really has so many possibilities, to be honest.
100%. It's got such a good base, easy to mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish mine off with just the top layer of cheese as a garnish. That is going to get a little bit crunchy, so.
Yes, more cheese. So on mine, I actually added the rest of the jalapeno. It's not very spicy, so you can do it as you see fit. If you like a lot of pepper and jalapeno, then add more.
Here's my finished product.
Yes.
You can see that little bit of cheese on top. It's going to just kind of give it a little bit of a golden crust. So if you do put that cheese on top, not necessary, but have that little bit heartier of a chip that will kind of break through it.
Yeah. So here it goes. We're going to put it in the oven. Top rack. Throw mine in the oven. And wait until your house smells like deliciousness. Can't wait.
I know.
We'll be back.
I'm excited
to try it. Hey guys, so we're back, and this baked for about 40 minutes in the oven. I think that's the perfect time for my oven. As you know, ovens vary, and sometimes an hour, sometimes 30 minutes depending. But I know my oven, so I always know that I gotta do it a little bit less. It kind of heats a little higher than normal. So 40 minutes in the oven. Look how beautiful these little bread pieces came out. Can't wait to dip. You can choose any different sides you want. Carrots, more peppers if you have leftover peppers, chips. Really dip anything. Oh my gosh. put this on top of like a chicken breast too, or a hot dog. This would be so good on a hot dog.
Ooh,
like
what would we call that
dip?
kind of hot dog? It's not a Sonoran.
It's not a what is that? Look at
That's
you
the
with your
Sonoran
knowledge.
one. Have you heard of that one?
No, what is that?
That one up.
Huh, interesting. I am learning so much from Zach today. I'm telling you right now. Okay, let's try this. Let's see how good it is. So we're gonna try both. I'm gonna try yours first.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, oh man, oh man. Oh, it's so ooey gooey. I'm gonna burn my mouth. I already know because I want it. Look at the steam. Oh. Okay. Oh. My God, it's so good. It's like tangy from the sour cream, creamy, cheesy. You still get the bite from the peppers. Zach added some peppers on the top, which gives you like nice little fresh crunch. Oh, so good. Also, baking the bread like this. Hear that crunch?
Yeah.
That's some AMSR? AMSR? ASMR? I mess that up every time. ASMR. Good.
Perfect.
We should bring this dip to work and eat it with the carrots at work. So I'm gonna try this one. So this is the one that has like jalapeno in it and orange pepper. They're both amazing.
How is it different? Talk about it.
Because he knows, Food Network star. So the difference, really the difference is this one has a little more, it's a little creamier I think, just because I added more vegetables so it like stretched everything out. But it has a little more sweetness to it because of the yellow pepper. Really, and I'm not tasting any really jalapeno spice because I put 2 jalapenos in it, but they were not spicy. Dang it. But again, you can throw as much spice as you want. A serrano chili would be really good in here because that's usually always spicy.
Also, I can definitely tell the added seasonings in here.
Yeah.
A little bit more saltiness.
Yeah.
For sure. It's a nice change.
Look at that. We did something awesome.
Woo!
So, we hope you try this. Get going. Any party you have, really any gathering you have, make this. People will love you for it. It looks like it travels well too, probably.
Yeah.
Put it in aluminum foil and it'll be fine.
Honestly, travel hack for this dish. You can leave it on your baking dish, put it in a laundry basket with a towel in the bottom, pick it up, carry it out, no burnt hands, set it down at your destination, you're good to go. This
guy with the tips, why did I never think about a laundry basket? I'm always like burning myself.
That tip's courtesy of Miss Mary. Just so you know.
Miss Mary. We love these tips. So thank you, Zach, for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
This was a blast.
So much fun. Hopefully you guys try this. Let us know in the comments what you think. Let us know if you changed anything up.
Yeah.
Please like, subscribe, and share.
Woo.
We love you guys. Thank you for everything. Bye. Oh, I'm gonna eat more.
Eating.